Hi, everybody. Fixing my hair so it's not all everywhere. Oh gosh, you don't want to see that, do you? All right. All right. Making sure I have everything. Kind of been crazy today. Hey everybody, I'm Tasha, and we are live from the Smoky Mountain Homestead. Yeah, it's been a busy week. I don't even know what I've done, actually, because it's been a busy week. But at least things are getting done, right? Started another class last week, so looks like this will be a lot easier since it's only 2 classes. Thank goodness. I am not doing 3 classes at once ever again. Never. But at least now I know, right? All right. So tonight I'm going to do something super simple. I always say that, right? That's super easy. I'm listening for Alan. Sorry. So we. Oh, sorry. I was looking at something. We love breakfast sandwiches around here. Well, mostly me and Darrian, and Alan does like them. But sometimes, you know, when you're busy and whatever, and oh, you know what I need? You know what I need? Tell me what I need. I need my apron. And it's getting kind of crazy around here with everybody's schedules and stuff. So, in order to make sure that everybody has a decent breakfast, I've decided to go back to making, because if I'm not here, you know what they eat? Cereal. If I'm not here to cook breakfast, which is kind of frustrating because it's not like they don't. Hey, how are you, Ron? So I got to put my apron on. How are you? Yeah, so, yeah, if I don't make breakfast for them, seriously, they will eat cereal. Or if I don't make dinner, they'll eat cereal. I'm like, really, guys? Come on. Least you could do is cook for yourself. All right. Yeah, oh my God, I haven't even fancy meat and meat here, huh? Chula, shut your hole. All right. So what we are going to do tonight is, what I used to do, I haven't done this in a while, but I need to get back to it. So I just make like a big crap ton of breakfast sandwiches, and I put them in the freezer. There's a couple things. Oh, look at eggs from our chickens. Love it. So I'm going to do some of them. I'm going to do 12 of them. I usually do 12 at a time. I might have to start doing more than that just because Darrian will eat 2 at once because he's a pig like that, you know? I guess that's what 16-year-old boys do. Cheers. So half of them I'm going to do with 2 eggs and half of them I do with 1 because I can't eat that much food. And then also what I do is after I make them and they're all in the freezer, when we pull them out and heat them up, afterwards I will always take mine apart and add a bunch of like vegetables and stuff to them because those would be kind of nasty if you did them beforehand, especially things like spinach. Ugh, that'd be nasty. So we have eggs. You want to use really good eggs, definitely. These are from our chickens. They're like a couple days old. I haven't tried my hand yet at, hi Jenna. I haven't tried my hand yet at making English muffins though. So that is, once I finish school, that is on the docket to teach myself how to make English muffins. Just because I hate buying, I mean, if you're going to buy English muffins, at least they're like the bag, the plastic bag is recyclable. You can put that in with your, like when you put it in with your grocery bags and things, it can go in there because it's stretchy. And then it's just the cardboard, and that can get recycled. So, Smiley Mountain Star. Yeah, so, as much as I don't like making any trash at all, at least that's that. These ones I'm going to do with bacon. So you pre-cook your bacon, but you want to make sure that you're not cooking it super crispy, because if you do that, it'll be all kind of like fall apart on your sandwich, and then when you freeze it, it gets really weird. Alternatively, you could cook it crispy crumbly, and then cook it in with your egg while you're doing that, so you're not adding it to like the sandwich afterwards. I don't do that. I usually try to leave it a little bit softy, kind of. That, and then I go to the deli and get cheeses. So I have here I have pepper jack, Colby, and Havarti. And when you go to get that, you're going to want to ask them to cut it on at least a 3 or a 4, because otherwise it's going to get so thin that it gets super melty in that sandwich, and it gets like when you reheat it, it almost kind of like disappears, and it's kind of weird like that. So yeah, so I think I'm going to move you guys over here. I got to move my huevos. Look. Actually, I think I'm going to put you over here just because if there's even freaking room. I think I'm running out of room. I need a bigger kitchen. I always need a bigger kitchen. I know it's kind of bright, but oh God, it makes my color look horrible. And again, I'm cooking on this crappy electric oven. Hey, Robert. Yeah, I don't like electric, but I have learned to live with it. If you're going to do this, obviously, I mean, we're kind of higher up, so you got to kind of gauge your heat. One of the things you want to make sure you do not overdo is overcook your eggs, because if you overcook them and then you try to reheat them, they're going to be really gross. So what I do is I cook them mostly all the way through, and then I put them on a cooling rack to cool all the way down, all the way. And I just, you know what, you guys, I either just cook my eggs with bacon fat or lard, because that's how we roll around here. I mean, come on, it's so good. I guess I don't need that much, do I? But you're going to have to keep some out. Yeah, so I just finished reading. Let me go get my wine, because I need my wine. So I just finished reading book 1 of this book called Going Home. I'm waiting for this lard to heat up, sorry. It's by Angry American. That is a great, great book. Boy, you know, I mean, it's just kind of this story about, I mean, I'm not going to give away the whole, you know, thing, but it's about this guy that there's like a CME or an EMP, and he gets stuck. He's like a couple hundred miles away from home, and he's got to make it home. And I do have a get home bag in the back of my car just in case, because, you know, living up here, we might, you know, in the winter, what if you hit black ice and you slide off the road or something? You know, anything could happen up here. So it's this story about this guy trying to get home. And like they go over like all this, like the guy that wrote it, he like names what this guy has got in his pack as he's going home, and I'm like, okay, I have like the stupidest get home bag on the planet. Hey, there's my honey. Yeah, it was a really, really good book, so I'm just going to be starting book 2, and I don't know how many books are in that series. Robert, you probably know. I haven't like really looked at it. I just started, so I don't know. Highly recommend that book, though. It's really, really good. And actually, I'm listening to it on audiobook. I didn't read it just because, you know, the only thing I'm reading right now is textbooks, and if I read anything else, my eyeballs are probably going to fall out of my head. So, all right, so we got some good. I'm just going to make a couple of them here so you can see. Once your eggs are cooked and you're putting them on your cooling racks, in fact, I should bring those over here. Make sure they cool all the way down before you start putting your things together, because if you don't, then like your cheese will get all melty already and everything. It's just a hot mess. So you don't want to do that. I mean, I don't know. You might want to. It's up to you. But, and yeah, I just put them on a cooling rack. I don't even put a towel down or anything underneath it, because I know how to clean a counter, you know. Who is that? Oh, hey, Scott. All right, so, and I cook almost exclusively in cast iron because I love it, love it, love it. I love it. And lard and bacon fat and all the goodness. Oh, I need a bowl for all my egg shells, don't I? I'll stick You always crack your eggs on a surface other than in your pan, because why? Because we might get eggshells in our eggs, which is a pain in the neck. And I don't know what about you guys, but if I'm eating an egg sandwich, I want the yolk to be broken. It's just, that's just me, and so I always just break them. That's all you get. Yeah, really high tech, huh? And then a little bit of salt. This is kosher salt, which I like that better for actually cooking rather than baking. A little bit of pepper. Alan told me the other day, baby, go easy on the pepper. Guess I'm getting a little heavy-handed with that. Yeah, and that's really, and these ones, because I don't want them to like be fried, like your brain on drugs or something. I'm gonna let them cook just a little bit and then flip them over. And they don't even have to be like perfect or beautiful or anything, because you're just putting them in the dang sandwich, you know? Super easy. We had all these extra eggs that I needed to use up, and because Darrian's becoming a piggy wiggy, I was like, oh, I can totally do that. I cannot believe how much this kid eats. I don't know how I'm ever going to keep up with him. Well, he has a job. I was going to say he needs to get a job and feed himself, but, you know, he already does. He doesn't feed himself, but he's definitely working. They've got him working, like I think last week he worked 5 days a week or something like that, like 8-hour shifts, like a full, and he's digging it. And he's like, yeah, I like it. Okay, so these yolks are like almost done, but not quite, so I'm going to take them out. And you got to remember that eggs will continue to cook once you take them out of the pan, too. And so these have to cool down all the way, because I don't want a squishy sandwich. Yeah, and then when I freeze them, this is one of the times when I do use plastic. I wrap them in wax paper, and then put them so I can label them, and then put them in bags, which sometimes I will label the bag too, and sometimes I don't. Oh, that one's being weird. Come on, baby. Yeah, the hardest part about this really is just cooking the eggs. You guys, there was once we got our chickens and we started having our own eggs, there is no comparison. They're so good compared to like store-bought eggs. And what's funny is, like, now when we go out to eat, we can all totally tell the difference. We're like, oh, these are store-bought eggs. These are crap. They're just, they don't have any flavor to them. These, on the other hand, you know, they're like, the yolks are super creamy. And definitely better for you, that's for sure. They're not filled with like all hormones, and you know that the chickens are living a happy life too. You know, we don't cram our chickens into these cages and tell them to start popping them out, babe. So, yeah, those eggs are still super hot. So, a little history about the English muffin. I'm a culinary history buff kind of thing. I think it's mostly just because I love food, you know. But so the English muffin is actually more considered like a crumpet because of, I mean, you know what a crumpet looks like. And so when the English first came here, they were making crumpets. Ish, kind of, because they didn't have, hey Mo, they didn't have like refined flour or anything that's like, they didn't have anything fancy like that, but they were basically making a version of a crumpet. And then when refined sugar and refined flour became more prominent, And they were making them with that instead of, these are done too. See, these cook super fast because I don't want them all the way cooked. And then they were having a hard time because people started making muffins, which is what we think of as a muffin, like a blueberry muffin or something like that. And people were getting confused because they'd order like a blueberry muffin, which is more cake-like, and they would be served like a crumpet. And they're like, well, heck the what, man? So in order to differentiate the American muffin, which is like a cakeette, to the English muffin, that's how they came to be English muffins. I thought that was pretty cool. I just like knowing the history of, I just like history, I think. These are going to be good. Another thing you'll notice with fresh eggs is the shells are a lot harder than store-bought eggs. I was not expecting that at all. Like I didn't, oh, those are big. That was a little bit of a surprise, but it's nice too, because you know what, if you're having to carry them out from the coop and you're bringing them in, you're really hoping those aren't going to break in your pocket. I haven't joined the broken egg in my pocket club yet, although I'm sure I will. Although we have figured out that we have an egg eater out there, so one of them is eating their eggs, and only one every day. But still, I got to figure out a way to. And we have so many chickens, it's hard to tell which chicken it is. So, because they all go, I mean, it's not like I can be out there all day long watching who's doing what. Got too many things to do, man. Man, I was going like crazy today, so I had to finish up an assignment for school. Mo, you graduated already, didn't you? Yeah, so you guys, my friend Mo that's on here, she just had a baby too. Cutest freaking little baby. Oh my gosh, she makes the cutest babies. Y'all need to have another one. So freaking cute. I love those babies. Yeah, she has a homestead down in Texas. And thank goodness for her. I'm learning so much from her. So much. So I'm just going to do these ones and then we'll take them over there. And hopefully they'll be cooled off enough where I can just kind of assemble one. And these save a lot of time in the morning, especially, you know. And you don't even have to like zap them. I wouldn't, because the English muffin gets kind of soggy like. I don't like that. So I just put them on a cookie sheet and stick them in the oven. And they turn out fine. Of course, you know, I guess if you're 16, you'll eat just about anything, right? But if I do, you know, if I make these like once a week, like 12 would probably be enough to get us through the week, just because he'd probably eat 2 at a time. So, well, again, I made a big giant mess, but we're going to come over here. I'll be right back. I'll get my one, and then I'll get you guys. My kitchen is a freaking wreck. It's always a wreck just because I'm always cooking. So here we have a cooling rack full of cooling eggs. They're not quite cold yet. Like these ones back here are just, they cool off pretty quickly, but you just want to. So I don't want to do it on that. Let me get some wax paper. Oh, close. You guys, I found this wax paper at this like discount grocery store here. This stuff is like a legit wax paper, not like the stuff that, I can't even remember the brand because I haven't bought it in forever. But it's really like thick and I almost feel like it's got a plastic coating on it. It feels really weird to me, but this is like a legit wax paper that I can put in the fire, in our wood fireplace. But, oh, hello. Why, thank you so much, sir. When I'm done with it, which I love. We just use that kind of stuff for like fire starter and whatnot. So, English muffin. Super easy. I should probably have a fork to split this, but it's just not happening right now. I got too many things to do, man. And it's not that hard. Just, ta-da. Let me see if these are cooled off enough. I want to touch them. I want to touch them. Yeah, that's cool enough. That's cool. All right. So you can do this in whatever order you want. If you were, hi Chris. I've done ham before, and if you do ham, don't get the like super thin sliced stuff. What I do is I go to the deli and get like regular ham and have them slice it. Again, you want to go thicker than like what you would use on a sandwich. You want to use something that's probably at least a 4. Or I know that you can get ham that's already spoken. Or if you're raising your own pig, you could just cut it to however thickness you want. And you know how to, if you know how to like cure your own bacon, which I am anxious to learn how to do for sure. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So these these ones are still warm. I just took them out of the pan, but like these couple over here are getting nice and cool. So you want them to be cold enough so that they're not going to like melt your cheese and everything when you put it on here. Because if you do, even if your cheese is like on a 4, cut on a 4, it'll still melt. And then you're like, ew, that's nasty. So that's all I do is I just do the English muffin. And you could do this with anything that you, like a bagel. You could do this with bagels. You could do it with, I have a girlfriend that makes homemade bagels, you guys. They are so good. We bought some Asiago ones from her. What? That is crazy. So this is Havarti, and I have Colby here, and I have pepper jack. Actually, I think I'm going to use the pepper jack because I said like I'm going to do 6 with 2 eggs each for the guys because that's more their style, and I'm doing ones with 1 egg for me. And I usually don't even really eat a whole bunch of breakfast, so I just make a million of these to avoid having to juggle breakfast and or letting packs in. Yeah, you wait till they go to bed and then you're like, time to make a million breakfasts. Yeah, these are super, super easy. So pepper jack, and I'm going to stick another piece of egg on there. I'll bet Garrett goes through these too, huh? And then I just take a piece of bacon and I stick that on there like that. You could do 2 if you wanted to be generous and be nice. I guess I'll be nice. Fine. There. It's not an exact science. So I just do that, and then I wrap it up, and then I'll label it so that they know what's in there for sure. They'll be like, what the? Of course, they'd still eat it for sure. And then I do put these in a plastic Ziploc, but our Ziplocs, really you guys, our Ziplocs that we have, we brought with us from San Diego. So, yep, there it is. A sandwich. Easy, easy. Oh, I bet, huh? Well, they're easy. You know what? They can just stick them in the oven, and while you're getting ready in the morning, you just heat them up and then grab them and go. What was I telling you? Oh, and then we also get, there's the grocery store here, we can get, I think it's 10 pounds of bacon for like 20 bucks. So I buy the 10 pounds and then I bag them up into the Ziplocs, and then when we finish, we just wash them and reuse them. So really, the Ziploc bags that we were using, we brought with us from California, from San Diego. So I haven't purchased Ziploc bags. And then people come over and bring stuff, and they bring stuff in a Ziploc bag, and then they leave the bag here. I haven't purchased Ziploc bags in probably 4 or 5 years. You know, because people just leave stuff over here, and like the little plastic like to-go container kind of things that you can buy. People bring stuff over here, they leave the container here, and so I end up with all these containers. So if somebody comes over and then they want to take something home, I can give them something that I don't have to worry about getting back. Which is, I mean, I would have just put it in a canning jar and say, here you go, but it's really not that big a deal. Yeah, so you see, that is, And this will save us a lot of money, because otherwise, you know what? Because cereal is not cheap, which is what they would be eating, or they just like drive through someplace. So, and we all know that that's less healthy and definitely way more expensive. So this is just one of the things I do. Sometimes I'll do them with, I'll make pancakes and then use those instead of an English muffin. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can do like a savory one and do like a corn cakes, and then do like sausage in there, and then put, you know, your egg, and you know, you can do all kinds of stuff. I was trying to think of some other things you could throw in there. You can throw all kinds of stuff in there. But yeah, that's my fancy to go. It's a Childers McMuffin kind of thing. Hey Julie, look I made a breakfast sandwich. Yeah, so I'm going to make a whole bunch of these tonight and get those in the freezer, because we've got a busy couple weeks coming up. And then our daughter, my oldest daughter, is coming to visit next week on the 1st. She'll be here for 5 days with her boyfriend. So I want to make sure we've got I need to make some vegetarian ones, because she's pescatarian. Oh, yeah. She has been since she was like 7 years old. I'm like, she's amazing. And I can't wait to see her. I'm so excited. Yeah, so that's really it. Just make sure that if you're doing bacon, make sure it's not cooked all the way, because otherwise if it's too crispy, it's going to get all weird up in the English muffin and in the cheese, and it's just weird. So you want it kind of a little bit softy, but not like raw. You know, we want to eat raw bacon. Well, somebody might want to. My dogs. And make sure your eggs are cooled down all the way before you start assembling things, because otherwise your cheese will already start to melt in there, and then it's kind of nasty when you go to reheat it. So when I reheat them, I put them in just on a cookie sheet, or in like a Corningware casserole dish, and put the lid over it, and then heat it up. Usually I usually do at like 375 until like it's done, probably like 20-25 minutes. And then at the very end, I take the lid off so that the English muffin will get crispy again on the outside. And these are great to take if you're like going camping or something, because you can, if you have a Dutch oven, you can just take them out of there, or and then put them. I do cook bacon for my dogs. In fact, some of this bacon is for them, and then we're having BLTs for dinner too. So, they've been wandering around here sniffing the air. They're like, I know there's bacon there for me. Yeah, these are great for camping, for like if you're just going on a picnic or something. You can just pack them in there, and then the paper, if you get like regular wax paper, not the kind that feels like it's coated with plastic. If you get that, then you can just throw it in the fire. Sonia, hi. Hey, tell Mario I said congratulations. You guys, my girlfriend Sonia here, her son got, he is, how old is he? 15, 16? They're about the same age, right? He got a principal's award at school for getting 4.0. I'm so proud of him. I love that kid. Yeah, so that's about it. What is it? Oh yeah, 7:28. Yeah, see, it's about that time, eh? Righto. If anybody knows what that's from. Yeah, so that is it, and let's see what, hi. Yeah, so go ahead and make some more. You know what? I like to play around with the bread part of it. So if you do something different other than like pancakes, you could even do like mini waffles, like little waffleette kind of things. Oh, he's 15, yeah, and he's brilliant. Do waffles and then cut them in rounds with like a biscuit cutter or something, and then put everything in there, and then you'd have like a waffle with egg, with bacon, with cheese, and then put all that in there. That'd be so good. And even you could even like add stuff to the waffles, like crumbled bacon, but you could do the same thing if you were doing pancakes or whatever too. Or you could just add all your stuff to your eggs too. I don't, just because we like them fried like that. So, but you could do scrambled egg, and I barely made it. I have no idea what you're making, but at least I got to say hi. We're making breakfast sandwiches. See, I got to make a bunch of them and stick them in the freezer. So that's what I'm making tonight. And I had all these eggs I got to use up. Otherwise, they're just going to sit there. And I hard boiled like I think 18 of them yesterday, which are gonna be, yeah, I make a ton of French toast. I'll make French toast and then a whole bunch of it and just stick it in, like a whole loaf of bread, and then just stick it in the freezer. And then, hey Kathleen, yeah, I'll do that and stick it in the freezer. We do the same thing with pancakes. We do the same thing with fraise, which is basically an 18th century kind of a hot cake, but you cook your, so you would cook your bacon or your sausage or whatever, and then leave the fat in the pan, and then you have your piece of bacon in there, and then you take your batter, which is cream, eggs, and something else. I'd have to look it up. I think it's just 3 things. And then, oh, tell them I love them too. I miss you guys. And you pour the batter over that, and it's like a piece of bacon, like cooked, like a slice of bacon cooked into a hot cake, like a Johnny cake kind of thing, but not cornmeal. I'll have to show you guys how to do that. It's super, super, super easy. It's called fraise, F-R-A-Z-E. Yeah, and I do those. I just make a whole bunch of them and stick them in the freezer, and Darrian will come in and grab one and throw it in the oven. Actually, he doesn't grab one because they're only like maybe that big. So really, you guys, he'll grab like 5, throw them in the. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, man. So yeah, that's why I have to buy 10 pounds of bacon all at once, right? So, all right, you guys, that's what I'm doing tonight, and drinking my wine and starting my reading for my next week of school. So, all right, we will see you later. You guys, peace out and be the change. And there's Darrian.
Are you done with food?